target transitions. Two things that I see people do that I feel like is a really big mistake. So let's talk about it. The first one is, if you got two targets here, kind of like I have, what a lot of people will do, say they're going to put 2 shots on each, is they'll fire one shot, gun lifts, they'll drive it back down, fire another shot, gun lifts, they drive it back down on the same exact target, even though we're not going to shoot it anymore, and then they push the gun over to the next target and kind of repeat the process, right? The next one is they will not pick a very specific spot on the target. They have a very blurry target, and they watch their dot bounce up and down. Typically, these type of shooters, or shooters that are making that particular mistake, will drag off shots, or they'll drag on shots. So for instance, with these two targets, they'll get like an Alpha Charlie or an Alpha Delta, right? And then on the way into the next target, they'll get a Delta Charlie or Charlie Alpha, or they're dragging on instead of 2 Alpha that are very precisely placed. They're just seeing a brown blob and they're watching the dot bounce up and down. And it's honestly a very inaccurate way to shoot, and it's also going to be a lot slower. Actually, both of the ways that I just described are pretty dang slow. So what I would propose you guys to do is pick a very specific spot on each target, right? When you transition off of some sort of cue, whether it is the dot starting to lift or whether it's the trigger press. Personally, I use both of those depending on the level of target difficulty, right? If it's a really easy target, I'll just move on the trigger brake. If it is a kind of a low percentage target, you know, headshot at 25, I will move, start transitioning off the gun, or off the dot. So the gun will get a little bit more hang time on those, but it's a little bit more confirmation for those shots. Okay, so move on one of those cues. Whichever you do, to me, it's totally fine. Okay, so you're going to move the gun on a cue. Once that cue happens, that is your cue to then put your vision on the next target. Now, once your vision gets there, don't push on the gun. Okay, just allow the gun to slide over and basically fill in underneath where your eyes are, right? It's going to be a lot more accurate and a lot faster than trying to push on the gun, just see a brown blob, you know, push on the gun as fast as you can. And it's also going to be a lot faster than shooting twice, driving the gun back down on the target, even though we're not shooting it, and then pushing the gun over and repeating the process, right? So let me kind of demo the two ways that I see people do a lot of, and then I'll try and see if I can set the camera up so you guys can see my eyes and how I would propose you guys to transition. All right, so the first one, they drive the gun back down on the target, even though they're not shooting it anymore. All right, so it looks something like this. Okay, now, super accurate, but that was a 340, really freaking slow, right? You got 2 Snake Eyes Alphas in each of those targets. Here's the thing about that. Was it accurate? Yes. I don't care if it was accurate if it was slow, and vice versa. If it was inaccurate and really fast, who cares, right? We want fast and accurate. That's what we're after here, okay? Here's the next one. This is gonna be really hard for me to demo because I've been trying not to do this, right? They'll just see brown, they'll watch the dot bounce up and down, and then they'll drag on and off. So that would look something like this. Okay, no clue where those shots went because I just saw 2 brown blobs. I believe that was a Delta Charlie, and then Alpha Delta. Drug completely on and completely off because I wasn't picking a very specific spot, okay? That was a 196. Times don't really matter, by the way. I just care that you guys are actually doing it properly. If you do this properly, the times will be there. So just a quick note. All right, so let me see if I could set the camera and not shoot the phone where you could see my eyes. Let's see here. Probably right here. Okay. Here's how I would propose you guys to transition. Okay, that was a 175. I got 2 Snake Eyes Alphas on both of those. And if you go back, see if you can slow that video down and you'll watch my eyes pick a very specific spot on the left target and then put my vision on the next spot and just basically allow the gun to fill in underneath my vision, right? See if I could do that a little slower so it's easier to see. So what it would look like is this. Okay, I'm just allowing the gun to come to where my eyes are. Really, really easy stuff. Okay, again, put your eyes on a very, very specific spot. Once the gun lifts or you press the trigger, depending on the level of target difficulty on that particular target, put your eyes on the next spot on the next target. Allow the gun to fill in underneath your eyes. Don't push on the gun. There's no need to do any of that stuff because all that is going to do is make the gun overdrive and then have to come back, right? Also, don't watch the dot bounce up and down. Don't just see a blob. And yeah, that's what I got for target to target transition. Show you guys the hits here. So this was dragging off. Focus. There we go. This was dragging off. Okay. And we got an Alpha Delta that was, you know, dragging off as well as I transitioned over to this target because I just saw brown. Okay. Again, if you guys are picking a very specific spot to drive the gun, that's how you're going to be fast and accurate. If you're just seeing brown, it's literally impossible. All right. Straight up impossible to watch the dot, just see brown and be accurate. Like, you have to aim small, miss small. So that's what I got for you guys on transitions. Hopefully that helps.